It was a beautiful day on Arlenville, and all the branch line engines had settled into their new home. They were having a lovely time, exchanging stories and telling and spreading the good word. So then, said Wallace, that was when Diesel 10 showed up, and he was all like, "Splodge, come and destroy!" And I was like, well, me and Dodge were like, do it yourself, because, we're not really into that evil stuff, or at least we weren't at the time. I see. Well, it's a good thing you guys aren't evil anymore. Yeah, quite definitely. If they were still evil, then we wouldn't be able to have fun like this. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, you guys will all fun stories, don't you? I even told you that one about my friend Warrior. Yes, 16, right? Yeah, he went cab over wheels. It's not as bad as the story of WindPipe. Who's WindPipe? Asked the engines. Oh, have I not told you this story, Wallace? We haven't really talked in, 18, 19, 20 years. Oh, my apologies. Now that I think about it, it might have been even longer than that amount of years. Oh God, you're right. Well, I guess I should tell you the story now. And so, this is the story that Gary told. Back in the USA, me and Steam Dummy worked in New York. It was a wonderful job. He would always be taking passengers, and I would be taking long freight trains. Amtrak diesels roamed the country, and they took many passenger services as well. But there was one engine there that wasn't like any other. Oi, watch where you're going! Ugh, don't tell me what to do. This engine had no name, but he was brought over from Britain. He was an experimental engine based off the E2s. Though we called him WindPipe because of his small funnel and the fact that he could barely build up steam. All the other engines would always tell him to be more careful about his work, but all WindPipe would ever talk about was how much better the Britain railroads were than American ones. He would always go on saying, "You American engines are big, but that doesn't mean anything. All that means is that you're a reflection of your people," said the engine all the time. "Oh yeah," the steam dummy would always reply. "So all of our engines are big, just like our people. Doesn't matter. Our people aren't fat, they're muscular. Your people are scrawny and thin. What's that mean for you?" The engine would always get cross and get into arguments with the steam dummy, and I didn't like it one bit, said Gary. Me and the local Amtrak engine hated him the most, although all the engines really did, now that you think about it. That WindPipe was never careful and always causing accidents. "Oh, WindPipe, what have you done now?" said Gary. "You're gonna make us late. You're blocking the express line." But WindPipe didn't care. All that British boy would do was laugh. Our controller would always tell him to be more careful. He would always go on saying, "Don't be stupid. I know y'all ain't used to our railroads, although if you're gonna be here, you gotta learn respect. You can't keep running around talking about how much better you are than us, because over here, we work together." But the engine would never listen. He would always just laugh. This made us all cross, and we hated the engine, but we still did our work anyways. Every time our controller would speed off with his lorry and we wouldn't see him again for a couple more hours, the engine would just go back to his old ways, biffing trucks about and making a mess. Me and the Amtrak engine hated it, as well as Steam Dummy. If it's one thing that WindPipe wouldn't stop talking about, it was always getting off this stupid rock of a country, he would say. One night he had to take a special goods service all the way up to the docks. But not our docks over at New York. He had to take him over down to the docks in the south. "Be careful," I would warn him. You don't tell me what to do. I'll tell you what, I'll get off this hunk of a island Wednesday and I'll never have to see you stupid American hybrid engines again. Gary, I would always say nothing. That was the last time I ever saw that engine. Now, loads of rumors are circulating around about what happened next. Some say this was the driver's and fireman's fault for being intoxicated on the job. Some say it was the silly trucks for biffing into WindPipe. But we always knew this was his plan all along, to get off this hunk of an island. His plan was for the trucks to biff him onto a nearby ship by accident, and then the ship would leave, taking him back to Britain. The trucks listened to his plan and said they would bump him, although they had no idea what would happen next. The trip to the new harbor was hours long, but when he finally arrived, Steam Dummy was waiting at the other end. He was having a refuel because he'd taken a long tour passenger service over there. He was the last engine ever to see WindPipe. WindPipe's plan was for the truck to biff him onto the ship, but the ship had already left. WindPipe applied his brakes, but it was too late. One minute he was on the ground, the next minute he was plunging into the ocean. Steam Dummy was horrified. He rushed quickly to get the nearest help. What? What happened to WindPipe? Well, he sat there for a little while underneath the ocean, you see? We left the little fellow in there for a little while. It took us hours to fish him out. By the time he did, he was soaked and cold, and he was in a terrible condition. The trucks had buckled underneath his weight, and they had crushed him alive. Oh my, said Wallace. What happened to WindPipe? Can't really say. It's not really that nice. I never did see him again, although I do know this. The steam dummy always told me stories about what happened to him. But what happened to him? Well, the trucks were taken out of the water, and since they were in terrible service, they were scrapped. Oh my. And as for WindPipe, well, he got what he deserved. What happened? He was sent back to Britain just like he wanted, but he was in terrible service, so he couldn't work. So rather than scrapping him, they threw him in the playgrounds. Kids play on him all day, and they make jokes about him, saying about how he couldn't even handle America and how he jumped into the water just because he didn't like us. A lot of jokes came about how we drowned him, and rumors about how we don't like British engines and we drowned him. But the truth is, he died of his own willing. Wait, die? Well, died or not, he's dead to me anyways. He's not actually dead. Somewhere in Britain, he's sitting in a playground near the beach, probably wishing he did something better with his life instead of, well, complaining. Oh. So is he still there? Yes. Yes, he is. Yep, that was old WindPipe. I bet he wished he'd never done what he did. British engines pass him and mock him, always saying how he was a disgrace to British rail. I don't think he'll ever move again. Oh, well, that's a sad story, said Vanessa. Don't worry. I'm sure someday he'll be put back into service. Just not today. Well, that was a nice story, Gary, I guess. Not really. Yeah. Anywho, I should really get off. Get off? To where? Well, I gotta get moving, you see. Gotta go over to the island of Sodor, remember? I got shunting duties over there. And then afterwards, I head back to New York. So will we ever see you again? Well, hopefully. Aw, that was too short of a visit. Indeed, said Tom. Well, I'm still gonna be here, so hopefully you'll come back, Gary. Oh, I will. But this is my last night here, you see, because I have to go work on Sodor. I will miss you guys. I wish I could have stayed longer, but you know, times are changing. They need more help over there. Oh, I see. Well, it was nice talking to you, Gary. Indeed, it's the other engines. And so they all enjoyed a good laugh.